Let me just ask you, Luke, there's also a lot of talk about having a citizen army. We talked about this national service before my father went into national service. I'm too young to know national service. But also, there's also this new scheme. Again, this is from Patrick Sanders, the General Staff Chief of General Staff. He said that gap year students should be paid to undergo some form of military training. So after school, you go in for a bit of military training, you get a taste of it, you understand camaraderie, you get some sort of sense of rules and discipline, and maybe that's a brilliant idea.
I actually quite like the idea, and I'll tell you why. Is because I think society is becoming very, very glass-like. You know, and what I mean by that is everybody's very sensitive. I think discipline, focus, and actually the things that, I mean, I've not been in the military, I'll be clear about that, but it does bring a sense of discipline and focus to people, and if they're going to get paid to do it and they're willing to do it, it could be a really good idea, and it could really, you know, give some good principles and foundations to young people in this country.
Principle is important.
Principles and foundations.
You need to get the idea of society and community back. Discipline is also important, and so on and so on. When I was growing up, we had CCF, Combined Cadet Forces, at school. You know, you had the itchy trousers on a Monday and marched up and down meaninglessly, but that's what you had. The idea of discipline and understanding that you can assist people is got to be good. It also helps people prepare for other aspects in life, because getting organised and having what we talked about, a purpose, has got to be important.
Luke?
Yeah, I think it sounds quite a good idea. I think it'd be, you know, as Adam says, I think it would be a good sort of way of instilling some decent values into young people. My caveat, I guess, would be a bunch of 19-year-olds scraped off the couch for a month of training. I don't think that's going to have Vladimir Putin quaking in his boots. And also, you know, I'd come back to the point I keep making. They're obviously saying they're going to be paid for this. We're going to have to find the money from somewhere. I know we're going to sort of disagree on this. I'll just come back to my point about a quarter of the wealth in the country being held by 1% of the population. Okay. You could tax them a little bit more. While protecting,
don't they then leave?
So look,
you could tax them a little bit more, and they'd still be extremely
so investment
rich.
Creates a return. So, if you invest in unproductive members of society, you give them discipline, focus, and values. That's where the money will come back, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Because they're going to produce for the economy further on.
But one more thing.
We're in complete agreement. I agree that investing in people would be good for them.
But those high earners tend to employ people. Let's say, and if you overtax them, they leave the country.
Exactly.
Again, the evidence on this is very thin. You look at the reforms. No, it is. You look at the reforms to non-dom status.
The non-dom tax will drive people out of this country.
It has the reforms to it. The number of people that left was tiny compared to the tax revenue it generated. Norway introduced a wealth tax, and a few people did leave. They'd have needed 15 times as many people to have left for it to have discounted the money that it raised. It was a real revenue generator. Look, I absolutely think that people should be rewarded for success and for starting businesses and stuff. I'm just saying that we need, you know, security. We need no.
So
I think people should be. Yeah, we need good public services.
Yes.
And
look,
we need
to reward success. People that build businesses create wealth, and they employ people, which stimulates the economy.
Exactly.
And economic growth is stimulated through business, and the people that have got the creativity, the work ethic, and put the time and effort into doing that should be rewarded.
So can I ask you one simple question? One simple question. Very, very simple question. So if you're saying that it's wrong on those statistics, people leave. If it were true, and we can find evidence, would you then say that it is wrong to do it?
I'd then say that we need to have international coordination to ensure we can get a sort of fair and meaningful tax contribution.
What's it got
I think yes, we need great public services that we need to, and that we could be getting a more meaningful tax contribution from people who, even after they pay tax, would still be incredibly rich and well rewarded for success, as they should be.
The last thing I want is international coordination. The whole point of Brexit was to devolve ourselves, so we set our own rules, we set our own tax, and we have our own vision for the world.
We're in a global economy. And
we may well be, but then we need to undercut. We attract the best and the brightest.
We're always going to be affected by what other countries are doing, so we do have to work with them on things like the global economy, security, climate change.
I think you're really underestimating undermining how much tax that people pay in terms of that are running businesses. You've got corporation tax, NI, PAYE, VAT. You're taxed on absolutely everything. And if you squeeze it too much, you're not going to allow people to evolve and create that economic stimulus.
But everybody is taxed a lot, you know. I'm sure we all pay a lot of tax around it. And again, I clarify, I'm not talking about, you know, a small business owner who works hard and is really successful. I'm talking about, like, you know, plutocrats, billionaires, oligarchs who, you know, are worth billions and would still be worth billions even after paying a bit more tax.
I need